There is a city that should not exist, a city built on water, guarded by shadows, and governed by a system older than most nations alive today. For more than 1,000 years, Venice was not merely a place, it was a force. A republic without a king, an empire without vast lands, and a power that shaped the Mediterranean to its will. Venice began as a desperate experiment. When the Roman world collapsed, refugees fled into the marshes of the Adriatic, a landscape so hostile that even invaders refused to follow. But the Venetians stayed. They drove millions of wooden piles into the mud, creating artificial islands. They carved canals where streets should have been. They turned the lagoon itself into a fortress. Venice was not protected by walls, but rather by geography, engineering, and the stubborn determination of a people who refused to die. Venice called itself a republic, but it resembled no republic before or since. At its head stood the Doge, a ruler who wore a crown, yet held little personal power. He served as a symbol, a living emblem of the state. Real authority rested within the Great Council, a hereditary assembly of noble families. From this body emerged the Senate, which directed diplomacy and strategy, and above all, watching silently, was the Council of Ten, Venice's secretive intelligence organization. They intercepted letters, monitored ambassadors, and even spied on their fellow nobles. Venice endured not through brute force, but rather through information, balance, and political precision. It was a government built like a clock, every gear locked in its place, every family checked by another, all designed to prevent tyranny, and it worked for more than 1,100 years. Although Venice is remembered for its navy, it maintained a capable land army, one far more effective than people assume. Every citizen had a role in defending the lagoon, forming disciplined urban militias trained to fight in the narrow, twisting streets of the city. Venetian nobles kept elite household troops, armored cavalry, and professional infantry used in mainland campaigns. And when Venice needed serious strength, it hired its finest mercenaries in Italy. The condottieri, commanders like Carmagnola, Colleoni, and Gattamelata, became legends under the Venetian banner. After Venice expanded onto the mainland in the 1400s, it built a true standing army of pikemen, crossbowmen, arquebusiers, heavy cavalry, and field artillery. Venice did not win wars through overwhelming numbers. It won through precision, wealth, and strategy, using mercenaries to absorb losses while Venetian commanders protected the state's interests. The lagoon kept Venice safe. The army kept its empire intact. But the heart of Venice, the engine of its power, was the navy. The Venetian arsenal was the world's first industrial complex, a shipyard so efficient it could produce a fully equipped galley in a single day. Their ships were standardized, their sailors professionals. Their captains were trained in navigation, diplomacy, and war. Venice did not simply sail into the Mediterranean, it dominated it. The great merchant convoys, the Mude, moved like armored caravans across the sea. Their colonies stretched across the Mediterranean like stepping stones of empire. Venice transformed the sea into a highway of wealth. At its height in the 1400s and early 1500s, Venice controlled a vast and glittering empire. On the Italian mainland, the terra firma included Verona, Padua, Vicenza, Brescia, Bergamo, Friuli, and parts of Lombardy. These territories provided farmland, manpower, and strategic depth. Across the Adriatic, Venice ruled Istria, Dalmatia, and the coastal cities of modern Croatia and Montenegro, securing the sea routes to the east. In the eastern Mediterranean, Venice held Crete for more than 4 centuries, Cyprus for a century, Euboea, and dozens of Aegean islands and fortresses along the Greek coast. And in the Holy Land and beyond, Venice maintained trading quarters in Constantinople, Alexandria, Antioch, Tyre, and Acre. This was not an empire of land, it was an empire of wealth, ports, islands, and sea lanes, a web of maritime power stretching from Italy to the Levant. But no empire rises without enemies. Venice fought the Byzantines, allied with them on various occasions, then betrayed them during the Fourth Crusade. It battled Genoa for dominance for over a century in brutal naval wars. It clashed with the Ottoman Empire, a rising eastern superpower that slowly pushed Venice out of the east. And on land, it faced the Holy Roman Empire, the Papal States, and the Italian city-states that feared Venetian expansion. Venice survived all of them, until the world changed faster than the lagoon could protect it. Gunpowder, oceanic trade, and the rise of the Atlantic empires, such as Britain and France, slowly strangled Venice's power. In 1797, Napoleon marched in. The Thousand-Year Republic ended without a single shot fired, but Venice remains, a city of stone and water, a republic of ghosts, and a reminder that sometimes the most powerful civilizations are not the ones built on land, but the ones that dared to do the impossible.